Indigenous viewers are warned the following program may contain images of deceased persons. HDA 210 Indigenous Tourism, the guise of Professor Mitchell Rolls of the University of Tasmania and undergraduate Christian McCann presents Two Tourist Brochures, A World Apart. Here we will utilise post-colonial theory to critique imperialist depictions. We see what Said says on post-colonial Orientalism, and we find the guts of Spivak's strategic essentialism. Two tourist brochures were obtained from Cruiseabout Travel Agency in Hobart in 2017. Brochure 1 is by AAT Kings, Australia. They typically produce a generic bus and tour guide package holiday. The second brochure is by Intrepid, Asia and the Subcontinent. They prize themselves on responsible tourism and immersion in the local culture. To get us started, consider the title on the brochure, Asia and the Subcontinent. Is there such a place? Would people in those regions appreciate the expression? Anyway, now let's compare the two brochures. Brochure 1, there's virtually no images of Indigenous people. And we'll explore this in the presentation. What are the patterns of characterisation of Indigenous representation? Or misrepresentations, like in brochure 2. Or in Asia, apparently there's a high proportion of children where everyone wears traditional clothing. The next main feature I want to do out in comparing the two brochures is the roles of Indigenous tour guides. The bus package tours are equivalent to white tourists learning from white tour guides. Hard to distinguish is the tour guide in the red shirt. The tour guide appears as the same. The tour guide asserts authority of the interpretation of Aboriginal culture, imposing Eurocentric meaning and significance. I ask on what legitimate grounds? Is modern tourist mediation a genre of contemporary history that's reinventing the manner in which the culture is being viewed? We slow up now as we visit India. The Indian tour guide quote reads, "Kuldip is amazing and so generous. I was so impressed with how organised and relaxed he was in a buzzing India." It's easy to see the appropriation, the calm Indian in the busy India, the busy Westerner seeking calm and tranquility in India. But whose voice is really produced here? Is it difficult to imagine a Western tourist dispelling knowledge? This woman appears to be saluting the temple. These women look imposing, blocking the door to the unknown, perhaps for other Christians not to enter. Perhaps here an unmarried couple looking for holy union. There's some legitimate grounds for contesting of religious sites by Western tourists. We see many similarities in the two brochures when it comes to the visitation, unacknowledgement and misunderstanding of sacred sites. We now compare the two brochures by the way in which they value Indigenous cultures. In brochure 1 advertising Aboriginal culture experiences does not make reference to responsible tourism, only ecotourism. The only significant interaction with Indigenous communities is off the continent and on the Tiwi Islands. Does brochure 2 utilise Indigenous culture responsibility because it's off the continent? The difference in depictions between the two brochures highlights the deplorable treatment of the local Aborigine. Nowhere is this more clearer than on the cover of brochure 1. The only Indigenous boy in the brochure. Note the text on the cover, Australia on the top and Tiwi Islands on the bottom, and the boy blending the two. Are we expected to rely on the poster boy while we holiday in ignorant bliss? How long can we maintain the boundaries of ignorant othering? In brochure 1 there was one child. In the Asian brochure there were 64 children. Does the contrast indicate how we want to see Asia? Having said all this, can we really deny people's agency, their self-determination? Do we ourselves essentialise cultures by painting them as fixed and static categories? I want to take the last moments of this presentation to reflect on the potential of the enriching experience of world travel and the beauty of the world's people.